Hello guys, welcome back to another video of Automation Testing Insider. So today I'm going to talk about what do you mean by unit testing and what are the different techniques used by the developer or development team to do the unit testing. And at last we'll talk about what are the advantages and disadvantages of unit testing. So let's get started. So the first thing is, what is unit testing? So guys, we have already spoken about the software development life cycle. So there are certain phases in software development life cycle, like we have requirement analysis, feasibility study, design, coding, testing, release, and maintenance. So these are the different phases in software development life cycle. So once requirement analysis is done, feasibility study is done, then we go for the design. And once design of the software is done, then we go for the actual implementation of the software. That is nothing but the coding. Now take an example. In our case, we got some requirement from the customer. Like we got one project for the website development. Now in any website, if you see, there are certain pages which are common. So let's say in our case we have registration page. So these are the common pages we can see in any website. So we have registration page, we have login page, and then home page. So what happens is, whenever we get any requirement from the customer or project, so we cannot develop that project together, like as a whole we cannot develop at once. So what developer does here is, they will divide the task into different modules. So they will divide development task into different modules. So in our case here, you can see module, this is module A, this is module B, and here we have C. Similarly, we have some other pages, and just for example guys, here we have registration page as module A, and we have certain fields in registration page, like first name, last name, we have the user name to for the login purpose, and then we have email ID, phone number, etc. are there in registration page to register for this website. So once registration is done, we will get the link in the email, and once we verify the link, we go for the login. To enter username, password, and click on submit button, we'll go for the will land in on the home page. So this is the flow of our website, or normally in any website. So what happens is, we get some requirement or project from the customer, so we'll divide them into different modules: module A, module B, module C, and module D. So these are different modules we are developing. So what developer will do, so they will go and they will do the development for registration page first. So they will pick up the module A, and they will start development of the registration page. So they will do the coding, everything they will do. Once the development of registration page is done, they will do the unit testing. They will do some kind of testing at their end. So that is nothing but the unit testing. So they will verify internal structure of the program, whether they have written whatever code they have written is correct or not, and the UI and everything, whether as per the requirement there or not. So they do some kind of internal structure testing, and they'll do some functionality as well, like after doing the registration, whether we are getting the receiving the email or not, for the verification purpose. So they will not do the detail level testing in terms of functionality, but they'll do some internal structure testing. So that is unit testing. So once unit testing for module A is done, they will go for module B development, and they will do the unit testing over here. And similarly, they will go for module C. Once all modules are done, they will integrate for further integration, and they will create the integrated system, and that will go for integration testing. So this is about unit testing, guys. So let's see some definition of unit testing. So unit testing is a software development process in which individual units of source code modules are tested to determine whether they are fit for use or not. Fit for use means whether we can go ahead with the further process or not, like for integration of all the modules and then integration testing. So that is the main purpose of unit testing. Like individual units of source code should be tested properly, or modules should be tested properly as part of this unit testing. Testing is conducted by developer or white box tester. So this is usually done by the developer or white box tester in some companies if they had a white box tester, and the person who has very good knowledge in terms of technical things, so that they can do the unit testing. So to conduct this testing, programming knowledge is required. So this is what I was talking about. So this technique allows developer to analyze code. So just concentrate on this one, guys. So this technique allows developer to analyze code, catch bugs earlier and fix them faster. So the main purpose of unit testing is to get the defect as early as possible. Like they will analyze the code, they will do the code review, and if everything goes well, they will do some kind of functionality testing as well. So their main motto is to get some defect early as possible so that they can fix them as soon as possible before they uh, go for the integration and integration testing. Now what do you mean by this unit test life cycle? So there are certain process, guys, so certain stages in this unit test life cycle which developer used to follow. Now let's say they have developed module A already, they have developed, and this is into remote repository. Already they check in the code and put into remote repository. So whenever we work in any company, guys, so we used to follow certain repository. Like let's say in this case we have GitHub. So GitHub, so to check in the code so that other team members can share their code as well, they can check out the code and they will make some changes as well. So to work in a team environment, we have to use some repository. So in our case, the developer, we have developed module A. One developer has already developed, let's say X developer has already developed module A and check in the code into the repository. Now what that developer will do, first first process is check out the code. Check out code. So check out the code from repository, and the second thing is execute unit test cases. So developer will write some test cases, guys, with themselves for unit testing. They'll create some scenarios, not in a formal way, but they used to have some kind of scenarios to execute the unit test cases in terms of internal structure of the program, how they will review it, and some functionality as well, whether that is working correctly, perfectly fine or not. So the first point is check out the code from the repository. Second is execute unit test, and the third one is, let's say as part of unit testing they get some defects or error in the program. So what they will do, they will fix the defects and error. Now the next point is code review. So after executing the unit test, we get some defects, guys, defects or error, and they will fix those defects. They will fix the defects. The developer will fix the defects, and they will ask the other developer to review the code. So in this case we have developer X, so they will ask other developer Y to review the code, and then what is the last, check out the code, check in the code check in the code check in the code into repository. So this is the kind of life cycle of a developer, guys. So this is what they do whenever they go for the unit test. This is unit test life cycle. We have check out the code and then execute the unit test. We'll fix the defects or error if we get any on the code, and then code review by the peer review or code review by the team, other members in the team, and then check in the code. So this is how the life cycle of unit tests. Now the next thing is, what are the different unit testing techniques we have? So we have structural testing techniques. So this is, again, there are 4 types of structural testing techniques we'll discuss in coming slides. We have functional testing. And we'll do some kind of functional testing as well, guys, as part of unit testing, as I have discussed earlier, and error-based testing techniques. So we have a couple of error-based testing like error seeding, which we'll discuss later, and the next one is mutation testing. Mutation testing. So we'll discuss in coming slides about error-based testing techniques as well. So let's talk about structural testing techniques first. So structure-based testing techniques use the internal structure of software to derive the test cases. So to derive the unit test cases, so we'll do this structural testing technique. So yeah, it is white box testing technique. White box testing technique, it required programming skills. So since we are talking about the unit test cases, so it requires programming skills. So these are the four types, guys. We have statement testing, condition testing, statement, test condition, branch, and path. So these are all related with internal structure of the coding, guys. Internal structure of the program. So what do you mean by statement testing? So testing each line in a program at least one time. So let's say we have developed module A now, so we have to go through each line of the code and execute each line of the code at least once. Like we have to execute our program to verify all the we'll do some kind of code review as well, code review. So verify that everything is perfectly fine uh, as part of this, like, for programming of or development of module A. Condition testing, so verify the conditional statements are working correctly or not. So what we have if, and we have if else, we have nested if, we have switch statement. So we'll make sure every what all the conditional statements we have all should work properly, all are executed properly as part of this condition testing. Branch testing, so verify all the branch statements are working correctly or not as part of branch testing. So we have break, continue, and return statements in for loop. So all those statements or branch statements should work correctly as part of this branch testing. So that is what we do as part of this branch testing. And another one is we have path testing. So testing the flow of the execution of the program. Basically we test the flow of the execution of the program in this path testing. So developer will use some workflow for their development, guys. So for, let's say, for module A they have written some workflow. So all should be in a proper manner, like flow, the execution of the flow of the program is proper as part of this path testing. So these are the four structural testing techniques: statement, condition, branch, and path. Now if we talk about functional testing, so let's say they have developed registration page, correct? So which we have seen earlier, registration page. Now what they will do, they will do some kind of functionality check on this registration page. So some kind of functional testing we do as part of unit testing, guys. So developer use some functionality check, like they will themselves they will do from their end some functionality check, like they will enter username, they will enter first name, last name, and after entering all the fields, they will go for the register, and they will verify whether we are getting the email or not. So some kind of functionality they will check. They will not go into detail like a tester, but they will do some kind of functionality check as part of functional testing. Functions are tested by feeding them input and examine the output. So this is the functional testing. Functional testing ensures that the requirements are properly satisfied by the application. And functional testing is a quality assurance process and a type of black box testing. So where what do you mean by black box testing? We don't care about the internal structure of the program. We just see the functionality is working properly, working perfectly fine or not. So however, we'll discuss more about functional testing when we talk about system testing, guys. So but the developer also do some kind of functional testing when they go for unit testing. So that is the purpose I put it here, like functional testing. Now error based testing techniques. So there are a couple of example I have given over here, like couple of types. So we have error seeding and mutation testing. So what happens in error seeding? So what they will do, developer, they feed some error, they will seed some error, seed or feed errors in the program, and they will verify like how, what are the actual errors in the program by putting the what you can say, artificial error in the program. How they do that, we'll see in the next slide with the help of an example. Mutation testing. So what do you mean by mutation testing? So what they will do, let's say we have written some program over here, let's say we have some statements over here. Now they will change it to, they will change something in the program to make sure whatever they have written is correct. So for this one, these changes, they should get some error or message, correct? So they will make sure that whatever they have written inside the program is correctly after making the changes. So after making the changes, we should get the exact message or exact flow. So that is the main purpose of this mutation testing. So I'll talk about an example in the coming slides. Let's talk about error seeding first. So I got this question in the internet, guys. So this was asked in the gate exam. So a software tested using, and this is error seeding example, error seeding. So a software was tested using the error seeding strategy where which 20 errors were seeded in the code. So developer put 20 errors in the code, seeded in the code. When the code was tested using the complete test suite, 16 of the seeded error were detected. So out of 20, we got only 16 of the seeded errors were detected. So the main purpose of error seeding is, since we won't get the exact number of errors, so uh, that's the problem. So that, to avoid that, we go for the error seeding technique to derive the actual number of errors in the program. So the same test suite also detected 200 non-seeded errors. So non-seeded errors are 200. What is the estimated number of undetected errors in the code after this testing? So this is the question. Now here we have four options. So how to resolve this? Correct. So we have a formula, guys. So let me write the formula. So found or detected seeded error in the program. Detected seeded error. Let's say, let's denote by this with n, and total seeded error. So what I have written here, detected seeded error divided by total seeded error. Now equal to, we have detected non-seeded error, non-seeded error divided by total non-seeded error. So this is the formula, guys. So detected seeded error n, this is, let's say, n, and this is r, small r, and this is capital R. You can see detected seeded error. We have detected seeded error, we have 16, correct? And divided by total seeded error, we have 20. We have error seeded in the program. Detected non-seeded error, we have 200. So we want this total non-seeded error first of all to derive the estimated number of undetected errors. So we can put the values in the formula. So we have 16, which is detected seeded error, which is 16, and divided by 20, which is total seeded error, which is this one. Now detected non-seeded error 200 divided by this r. So r will be 200 into 20 divided by 16. 4 4 is 16, 4 5 is 20, and 4 5 is 20. So total 250. So 250 is the this one, total non-seeded error in the program. Now we have to derive right? So total is 250 non-seeded error minus what is 200? 200 is non-seeded error. This is non-seeded error, right? Total non-seeded error is 250 we got, and we got the we already got, right, non-seeded error, which is 200. So what is undetected? Here you can see undetected errors. So undetected errors will be 50. Hope you got this answer. If you don't get this, then if you are not able to understand, then please let me know in the comment box, so I'll explain again. So we got the answer 50, which is undetected error in the program. So this is how you can derive the undetected errors with the help of error seeding. So before that, let me give an example of mutation testing as also, guys. So I don't have that slide as of now. So, and later on we'll discuss about the advantages of unit testing. So mutation testing, what happens is whenever we make any changes in the code, and then we'll see what is the behavior after making the changes. So let's say if we have some statement A is greater than B, so C is 20, else C is equal to 30. So this is my actual program. If A is greater than B, C is equal to 20, else C is equal to 30. Now I'll change it. We'll mutate some program. So we'll change this program to if A is less than B, C is equal to 20, and else C is equal to 30. So this is what we made the changes in the program. So here you can see we have less than symbol over here. So there are three types of three types of mutation testing as well, guys. So we have value, decision, and statements. So this is decision related, like we have changed the symbol over here, the operator, arithmetic operator I have changed over here. Now this is mutant program, and we'll verify as per this program whether we are getting the expected outcome or not. So definitely we'll get some error for this program, so that will make sure that this program is perfectly fine. The program which we have written is perfectly fine. So this is the main intention of mutation testing. So we'll make sure that whatever code we have written inside this if else, all are working fine. So this is just an example I have given with the help of if else block. So in the main program, like it will be like more coding. So now let's talk about what are the advantages of unit testing. So unit testing significantly improves code quality. So we do a lot of internal structure techniques we apply, and then we'll do code review as well. So unit testing significantly improves code quality. Unit testing helps identify all kinds of issues with the software at very early stage. So this is the biggest advantage of unit testing. If there are any problems, they are detected early on, and making changes to the system thus become much easier. Reduce cost. So as soon as we get the defect, we'll fix them as early as possible. So cost of the project will be reduced. Now, what are the disadvantages of unit testing? So it's difficult to write quality unit test cases, and the whole process can be time consuming. So this is very time consuming process, guys, if you do a lot of unit testing. So sometimes it's very difficult to do the unit testing as well. Not all errors can be detected. So we cannot find all the errors in the program, since every module is tested separately and later different integration bugs may appear. So right now we have tested a separate module A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and D. But once they are integrated, correct? So we may get some more defects later on, more defects. And also they have done the integration, unit testing only. So when we do the integration, when we go for integration, we may get some more defects as well. So this is, I think we are done. So this is all for today, guys. So thank you for watching. If you are new to my channel, then please subscribe it and click the bell icon to get the upcoming interesting videos. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.